money-making Airbnb calendar hacks.
And you are going to want to make sure to take action on tip number 3 today because it can make you thousands.
Hi, I'm Sarah Karakayan.
And I'm Annette Grant. And together we are
Thanks for visiting.
We've been hosting for well over a decade, welcomed tens of thousands of guests, and earned thousands of 5-star reviews.
Our portfolio continues to bring in over 1.5 million year over year, and supported not only by the industry's leading brands, but also some of the biggest media outlets.
And we're here to help you with your furnished rental.
Hack number 1, consider removing those length restrictions you have on your calendar. So many people think, oh, I'm gonna make it so that the weekend, has to have a 2-night stay, or people have to come
For
Saturday
3
to Saturday,
nights.
or they have to come 4 nights, right? Like, you're like making the market do what you want them to do. And the market's gonna do what the market wants to do. So you need to know what length of stay is actually
Appropriate,
yeah.
And this changes too. There's seasonality here. And so we just see so many hosts handcuff their potential earnings by restricting that calendar. So let's open it up. As you go, there might be, of course, some minimums that you want to put in place, but you gotta start without them so you can learn what those minimums can be so you can make the most profit.
Okay, you're like, Sarah, so how do I know? Am I a candidate for this? Should I remove it completely and just let it be a free-for-all? I'm not saying it needs to be a free-for-all, right? Like the market, there are some trends in your market. If you want the free version of getting data, you can go right to your Airbnb account. You wanna go, make sure you're on the hosting side of your account, go to Insights, and there you can decide, do you want the past 7 days, the past 30 days, the past year? You can get some data and look at your occupancy rate and then your length of stay average. If your occupancy rate is suffering, and how much your nightly rate is too, right? So if you are not making as much on your average daily rate and your occupancy is suffering and your length of stay is X amount of, like right now, on one of my properties, it's 4.5 days. That's the average length of stay. But I'm crushing it on my occupancy. Like I'm almost like upper 70s. That's great for me this time of year. So my average length of stay is 4.5 days. So I might be able to, depending on if it's the weekday or weekend, right now in the season that we're in, which is our high season, tell the market yes, you have to book my property for at least X amount of days. But if you're not, and if your nightly rate of the revenue you're bringing in is below what your goals are, open those restrictions up so that the market can tell you what they want. If a guest wants to arrive, on a Thursday and stay till Monday during whatever season, let them, you know what I mean? Let them have a 1-night stay every now and then to fill in those gaps. So loosening up your length of stay, depending on what the data is telling you. Now, if you want paid data, Annette, where's a good place for them to go?
You need to go to Price Labs. We'll have a link in our show notes to check out Price Labs and everything that they can help you with on pricing. Hack number 2, run promos. Airbnb loves when a host is active in their account, and they are super excited when a host wants to run promos because this allows them to email all of their customers and let them know that there's a promotion running. Now, we only run these promos. We use this promo to our advantage, okay? We don't just run promos all the time willy-nilly. There is definitely strategy behind this. So we go in every week on Monday, look at our schedule, and here's the deal. You need to know your booking window. And you're like, Annette, what the heck is a booking window? And that is the amount of time in which you are normally, a reservation is being booked on your property. So for instance, in our location, our booking window, it's actually very short. It's 5 to 7 days. Some places it might be 30 days. It might be 15 days. And this data is data that you can find inside Airbnb. And so what we see is hey, are we within that 5 to 7 day booking window? Do we have availability? Let's run a promo. And so this is something that every week we go in, look at that availability, look at our booking window, and see if it would behoove us to run a promo. Now, we have heard from hosts that they have not had success with promos. But once we did some more digging with these hosts, we found out they were super sporadic with it and really only running them once in a while when they were really, really in need of them. So we advise that if you are gonna start running promos, you wanna make this part of your cadence, again, some consistency, because we do believe this is where Airbnb is gonna give those hosts that they're using that functionality. They are gonna bump them up in the algorithm for those bookings.
I got a really cool insider knowledge about promos too, Annette. So like, let's say when you're in your promo, you think that your property is going to be, discounted every single time, and you might have already discounted your property and it's going to discount it again. No.
Right. You're like, wait, why am I gonna I don't want a super duper promo because then it's not worth it.
No. So the promo price that is advertised to Airbnb's, community people who are searching in your area, they'll send them a lot of times. They'll send them emails, or when your property comes up on the algorithm on Airbnb's website, you'll see like a slash price. The number that they advertise is an average. Okay, so it's not necessarily a discount off of the discount you set. It is an average because Airbnb wants it to be, beneficial for them too. So just know that. We'll run the promo and then go ahead and look at your property and see what it's advertised at and make sure you believe that to be a good price. But I want you to don't think it's gonna be like some super, super discounted price because it's an average.
Listen closely. This is the hack I was telling you about. You're gonna be able to make thousands off of this.
Hack number 3, dial in to your community calendar. You might think maybe you're using Airbnb's smart pricing, or maybe you're an advanced host and you're using dynamic pricing via a third-party pricing software like our friends over at Price Labs. Here's the deal. Don't use smart pricing, but that's another video, another time. Even the data from like Price Labs, right, sometimes misses those nuanced events that are happening in your town that will really raise the rates for you. And so if you're sleeping on these events, if you're new to hosting or you're not really dialed into what's going on in your entire community, then you could be leaving a lot of money on the table, like Annette said. I will give you an example, okay? I moved to Columbus, Ohio from New York, and I open up my short-term rental. I'm an experienced host, and I might go on to like the community calendar and see like, oh yes, like fireworks. That's gonna be huge. Okay, cool. Then I might go to like, I don't know, some big Christmas event that happens downtown. Yes, that's gonna be huge. Got it on my spreadsheet.
Taylor Swift's coming to town. Got it.
No brainer. Yes, I got you on that pricing. You know what I slept on? The fact that there's some gaming event at a convention here in Columbus that brings more people in the 4th of July. I'm not into gaming. Like, I'm talking board games, you guys. Like, they're coming to like play chess.
And they come for an entire week also. And this is what we're saying. This 1 week literally can 3x your normal rate. And so there are things happening in your community. You need to be dialed in on them. And I want to say this also. I don't care where you live. I don't care if it's a big city, a small city. There is something going on sometime during the year, a festival, a concert, a sporting event, a graduation. You need to know what's going on because these events really can have you 2x, 3x what your nightly rate is. And this is the time where you can earn more. As a host, we have limited inventory. We get 365 days a year. So those nights that you can 2 or 3x your nightly rate and you don't have to provide anything more, this is where you can really, really earn more profits.
Now, take it a step further, okay, hosts? And when you get that community calendar at the beginning of the year and you are like, well, Sarah, how would you have ever known that a gaming convention would bring in so many people? Well, had I put 2 and 2 together, they have it at Columbus's biggest expo center. That should tell me that wow, a lot of people, and then maybe I should talk to some people in my community. I can call the expo center. How many people are coming in for this event? Again, you have to be the chief financial officer for your short-term rental if you really want to maximize revenue. So once you understand all the events that are coming to your town, we have a spreadsheet. It could be really simple. Just January, February, March, April, call it community calendar. You could download the CSV file if your city offers that, and then track when those things are. And then we talked about booking window, right? So maybe your booking window is going to be a little bit longer, right? You might want to get ahead of the curve when it comes to pricing out these events, but being ahead of it and watching out for it and getting ready to raise your rates for those times in your calendar, that is where you're going to make a lot of money. Document how much you got booked for. Okay, so when that gaming convention comes, I usually charge, we'll make numbers easy, $100 a night. I got $300 a night for that whole week. I cashed in. Cool. Next year, I'm not charging $300 a night. I'm going to charge more. So just make sure you understand that too. Even with basic inflation, you can always at least charge 5% more the following year. How would you know that if you didn't document it? So make sure you're tracking what your property is being booked at.
Some other things I just want to get your minds really thinking about events. They can be marathons, they can be art festivals, anything in your town that's 23rd, 33rd, 43rd annual XYZ. You better believe those have historic crowds coming. So it's anything like that. I mean, and when it's something like a marathon, they're going to come for 1 or 2 or 3 nights. So those events where they're going to be stretching out their stay, let's say an arts festival, we just had ours here, they would be booking for 4 nights. Those are where it gets really, really juicy. So again, do your research, it will pay dividends. Hack 4, dynamic pricing. Dynamic pricing is used by the world's leading brands daily. Airlines are constantly changing their pricing depending on the day and time of week. Uber, DoorDash, ticket sales. Why not short-term rental hosts? You need to be taking advantage of dynamic pricing also. So that would mean maybe a Monday in May is not priced the same as a Monday in January, or a Friday in July is a different price than a Friday in October. We see this mistake made over and over and over again. It literally, like, people are losing money. They have Monday through Thursday priced at one price, and then they do Friday, Saturday, Sunday at another. That does not work. I did this. Before I used dynamic pricing, I thought that was dynamic pricing. Wrong. You have got to use, there's so much technology and tools out there. Again, we'll link Price Labs below because they can do it better than anybody else. There's no way that you're going to be able to keep track of everything, but please, like every other big brand in the world, use dynamic pricing to your advantage. For example, you've probably done this too with just hotels. If you go to a hotel, again, let's say it's for a event during May, Monday through Friday, it's probably gonna be priced different than a weekend in the summer, Friday through Sunday. You can go to any hotel website right now and you will see, I mean, those prices will be all over the board, from a couple $100s a night, maybe near $1,000 in the same room, in the same hotel. Consumers are used to this. So don't think that you're gonna lose out on bookings because someone's gonna look at your calendar and see that the same place has a rate that is very dynamic. You will get questions about it. Like someone will see what your May rate is because they're coming for that huge 4th of July celebration. Well, you gotta let them know, well, that's the May rate, not the July rate. And we do that with our guests. We explain to them the same exact thing with hotels, airlines, dynamic pricing. So please, you have to use this. This is a hack that once you start, again, it's this return on investment. Everything that we're going over with you today, you are just gonna keep earning.
Calendar hack number 5, your future booking forecasting. Don't screw it up. To those hosts out there that just open up your calendar for an entire year and you just let guests just book
Can I give an example?
9 months out. What are you doing?
A year. I just went to dinner with a friend and he was bragging about how he's already booked for the next year at a giant event in his town. And I was like, no! That just screams to me that you are just leaving all kinds of money on the table. You don't ever want to be the first place booked, right, Sarah?
You don't.
Ugh, it is not a badge of honor. That is not a badge of honor.
No, because you haven't let the market dictate how high they're willing to go to book your place. Okay. Now, how do you know what your booking window should be for future? Well, you got to dig into the data a little bit, right? How far out are your competitors booked out and at what rates? Are those rates lower than what you just got last year? Again, I'm gonna go back to Price Labs. Okay, you are not the first host to host in your area, most likely, right? So you can go into Price Labs. It is paid data, but oh my gosh, this is literally how you make money on your property. It is money well spent, but you can go to Price Labs and see how far out should you be opening your calendar. So for us, here in Columbus, Ohio, we do not go further than 6 months out. And then we even get fancier where 6 months out, our rate is a little bit higher because those guests, if you want to book that far out and secure your place, that is a luxury, my friends. As we creep in closer to our current date, that's when we really start adjusting our pricing to closer to what our average daily rate should be for that time of year, okay? So leaving your calendar open, we've seen it time and time again where one of our, Taylor Swift announced that she's coming to your town a year from now, and you quickly open up your calendar, maybe bump it up 3x, 4x, and then you find out 2 months before she arrives, your other hosting friends are getting 5x. what they usually get. I mean, don't count yourself out. Do not be the first one booked.
And running these promos, like we are not here, we don't want you losing any money because it can cost you to actually host a reservation. So we have a spreadsheet. We want you to fill it out. It's free. Know your numbers, okay? You can download it below. You need to do this work to make sure that you aren't paying for a stay.
TFB pro tip.
This part of your calendar planning, we want you to think about you and your calendar. That's why we're also not advising just opening it up in perpetuity. You need to understand what events are going on in your life. Is there time that you want to use your property? Maybe you have friends and family that want to use the property. So this is also why we ask you to only limit the amount of dates that you're open. We really want you to be methodical when you open up your calendar. We want you to be thoughtful about it.
All right, you already got your calendar juices flowing here. Why stop now? Go check out our video about how to sync up your Airbnb calendar with your Google Calendar, and it's absolutely free.
And while you're working on your calendar hacking, we also have a video we want you to watch on pricing mistakes. So we want you to do 2-for-1 here. Look at your calendar and your pricing.
And with that, I'm Sarah Karakayan.
I'm Annette Grant, and together we are
Thanks for visiting.